What's up, everybody? Today I'm here at Italian Sicilians Do It Better, but with the Romans today. My name is Dario. I come from Rome, and I hope you're gonna enjoy this episode.
Italian Sicilians do it better. Oh, can't you see? From cooking to comedy, it's pure family. Turn it up. This groove's for you. Queens in the house, bringing something true.
What's going on, everyone? We're back with another one. Today, I got something that I got to experience not too long ago, and the lines were out the door. Sal, you ready for this one?
Yeah, man, I definitely am. What's going on, everyone?
What's going on? Dario's Pizza is in the building. What's going on, bro?
What's up, everybody? Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming,
Pleasure.
brother.
Thanks for coming. But
Feel at home.
that's the experience, right? You feel like you're home. You have that beautiful conversations, and we're gonna drill into how this all started for you.
You sat on a couple of plastic chairs already. I mean, within 5 minutes, you came here upstairs.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's why I
There you
make you
go.
feel like home over here.
But what is it? What sparked your magic where I experienced those lines out the door?
Well, it was mainly a combination of obviously hard work and passion, and then social media. I mean, marketing it's very important nowadays, and I feel like you have to put your face on it and get it out there.
It's not just about the pizza, right? It's that Roman style.
Yeah, we do Roma style. I was born in Latina, in Italy, which is like 25-30 minutes from Rome. So I grew up eating Roman style pizza, and obviously, I wanted to do Roman style pizza as well. Although everybody loves the New York style round that we make,
Right.
and it's the most popular. People are still getting educated on Roman style. Because they think it's a Sicilian.
Yeah.
Nothing bad with Sicilian
Right.
slice. It's great. I love it. But yeah, we're still educating everybody. It's not Sicilian. It's Roman. It's not grandma. We don't do that. We do
Yeah.
Roman style.
It's unique. His pizza is
unique.
definitely very unique.
One question I like to ask is what makes it a different from a Sicilian? Like, what's the difference?
Well, mainly is the procedure to make it. It takes like 2 to 3 days,
For
depending on
fermenting the dough?
fermenting the dough. The hydration is usually way higher. We hit about 85 to 90% hydration, depending on the season. Because when it's hot, you gotta treat the dough differently than when it's cold. So you might go up in water, go less in water, but it keeps always a pretty high hydration.
So it's not just about the pizza in your place. So you have many other things that Sal and I saw you do. And those cheesesteaks,
Those cheesesteaks, man.
it's
Oh,
like
man,
you
I
could
still taste it from last week.
right? And then the fact that he gives it to you
Insane.
in like a gift box.
The box is amazing. Listen, he brought something up about social media, and it's literally the power of social media, how it can help you if you literally do it the right way. I lived 2 blocks away from where Dario's is. I used to live there for about 10 years. I lived there. I seen 3 pizzerias come and go in the same location. Every time they open up, a few months later, they would close down. It was just like no advertising at all. Like Dario's came, like now he's there. Literally, the lines are out the door. Same location. It's not like anything is different about the area. It's the same location, same people, and it's predominant really Jewish area. So they're not coming from there. They're coming from all over Long Island. So the power of social media can help if you do it the right way.
Yeah, I mean, it helped us fill up the place on a regular basis. Now it became a destination spot, like I was telling you
Absolutely, yeah.
before. People come from all over, They come from Queens, they come from Brooklyn, they come from New Jersey, and obviously Long Island, but, out east, south, north, anyway.
Right.
It's crazy. I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing. You
What,
guys.
what was life like before those lines? Like, was it purely social media, or did that just gave you that boost?
It was purely social media.
Wow.
Just putting out videos constantly, showcasing the product, doing specials. I like to do specials. Once in a while, I just throw a special out. Like today, we have a Philly cheesesteak wrap special with French fries in it and shredded lettuce. We tweaked it up a little bit on a house-made sourdough wrap.
Mhm.
And that's another thing. We use sourdough. We were probably the first on Long Island to use sourdough on a commercial level like that in pizzeria. We put it in the Roman style. We put it in the bread for the semolina, in the New York roundo. And people nowadays, I feel like they're waking up to it, meaning they appreciate the extra healthy food. Everybody's getting kind of bored of that fake food out there.
Right.
So they're looking for something different, something healthier, and they're more healthy conscious.
See, that's important.
Absolutely.
Because I didn't even know that they use sourdough. I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's
Were you affected by that flour that the United States just banned?
No, I never used it. The difference is you don't see me shouting out on Instagram every day, we don't use that flour. Stop using that flour. Because there is no need to bash other people's hard work. Meaning, change is scary for everybody.
right.
These places might be using that flour for 30 years. So you telling them to change the main ingredient,
It hurt them.
it hurt them. Besides that, they're scared and not educated about it. So instead of just bashing them, and this is for all the other pizzerias that are ganging up together, saying we were always against it, they're using this stuff, just provide the help. Just
Right.
educate these people, help them
Yeah.
for the change. Don't bash them. It's
At what moment in your life with the pizzeria were you like, oh shit, this is working, this is blowing up?
it was this year.
It was this year.
I always knew I had something good, something special. I was just missing different elements to make it happen.
I mean, after your renovation, I think you guys blew up.
Yes.
After that renovation that you guys did, it was a lot smaller. They took up more space, and I walked in there, like right after they renovated the grand reopening.
Mhm.
I'm like, this place is beautiful. Like what you guys did in here is amazing, and the partners you got, these guys are straight up standard, like men, like humble, great guys that I've met, like
full of
Chris,
energy.
and yeah, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
really
You
good
walk
guys.
into your place and it's everyone's full of energy.
Everybody's full of energy. We need that energy. That's, if I hire somebody and they don't carry the energy that we need, you're not gonna last.
That's key.
That's key. Good
Absolutely.
customer service, good product, consistency goes hand to end. You can have the best product, but if then you walk in and everybody's in a mood,
It's true with that because they had a whole system when we went there a couple of weeks ago. Like people like, okay, who's next here? Who's ordering this? Who's ready to pay? Like they literally had a whole system going, and that's what makes the line move. You know, that's what's making the
And
line.
it's still hard, even with a system. Like when you get 1,000 orders in a day, which we experience
Yeah,
on Fridays or Saturday, it's hard, even with a system. And a lot of times people get upset because, oh,
Yeah.
why am I waiting half an hour for a sandwich and a pie? But there is probably another 40 orders before you,
Yeah.
and you ordered 20 minutes ago. It's,
Do you guys, with this volume, do you guys do deliveries?
yeah, we still do.
You still do?
Yeah, sometimes I'm tempted in the weekends to shut the delivery apps, but I can't because
so you do
every
the
dollar
apps,
matters.
like all the apps you do, the DoorDash and all
We
that.
do all of them. We do DoorDash, we're on Slice, Uber Eats, Grubhub,
Okay,
but we don't offer
private.
private. We don't do that. That I can't handle that.
So you're truly known for that Roman style, nice pizza, but then you got these cheesesteaks. So right now, again, this is all based on experience. I just saw a mix of food, but it was like a 50-50 split between who was enjoying the cheesesteaks and
Yeah.
who was enjoying the pizza. Which is your best seller?
I gotta be honest. In the past 2 months, the cheesesteak has been the most selling items. I mean, it's insane.
Wow.
Followed by the pizza, obviously. It's like a head to head with the cheesesteak and pizza right now.
That bread alone on the cheesesteak.
Homemade bread.
I think the bread makes it.
The bread makes the whole cheesesteak.
Bread makes the whole
Absolutely.
cheesesteak. But it's ribeye. We slice it by hand in house with the slicer. Everything is curated. You know what I mean? Everything is. We always go cherry picking for everything that we do.
Yeah, and you know what's different about Dario's, and I don't mean to bash any pizzerias. They got a bunch of Italians back there working. They got a bunch of Italians behind the counter in the kitchen making the food.
Some palermitanos, I heard.
Palermitano, Sicilians,
I
like
had 3 palermitanos.
you know how hard it is to find that in New York?
Yeah.
Italians actually making the fucking food? You have no idea. It's hard to find.
And there is haters in the comments. Oh, you hire all illegals, Mexicans.
How
I'm
did
like,
how did they know?
how do they know? A lot of my guys are from Italy, just like me. There is me, my mom, my brother. I have another 3 or 4 guys from Italy. It's like 6, 7 Italians in there at least.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Italy. So there is a difference because when we cook the food, we do it the same way we grew up over there.
Bro, you feel like you're in Italy when you go in that kitchen. Like you feel like you're in a pizzeria in either Rome or Sicily with the Sicilians he has working back there. You got his mother back there making bombolonis.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. It's like a family project, and that's like so unique to find in New York because a lot of times, you'll have Mexicans making pizza, and that's fine. They know how to,
Of course.
it's totally fine. But it's really hard to find the authenticity. Yeah, I can't say that word for shit. Cut that out.
Authenticity.
I can't even say that either. Authenticity. Authenticity.
You said it. There you go.
There you go.
Authenticity.
It's hard to find that in New York, anywhere in New York.
It adds value to it.
Yeah.
It has that realness, to
Exactly.
the experience.
What's your feeling like? Because I feel like there's two different pizzerias now, right? You go to these old school, places, and they do that.
Nostalgic.
Yeah, and it's that tradition slice with the still, wooden sliding bench seats inside, which are great.
Yeah.
But then you have like these new upcoming, guys that bring up these new styles,
Right.
and you're opening up to doors to people, right? So what's your take on when you see like the old school version and the new school version? I feel like those two would never die, but I don't know if there's a between. You know what I'm trying to say? Is there a between that?
I don't think there is a between. Nowadays, I only see, like you say, that old school pizzeria joint and the new wave of elevated New York style pizza or Detroit. Now, a lot of people are doing Detroit too. They're starting to. Which, I like Detroit. I just feel like it's too heavy, too thick. Even when it's done right, it's just not my style. But yeah, it's either new school or old school.
Yeah.
But I feel like in due time, as the old school retire or they sell, there's gonna be less and less old school and more of
The new school.
Dario's or whatever other new school wave pizzeria is coming.
I mean, it's also true for what I said. When you have authentic people working behind the counter, look for example for another old school pizzeria. Look at Luigi's in was it Williamsburg or
Williamsburg,
Parksville,
yeah.
wherever he's at. He's still back there for years making pizza. He's still back there. He was in the movie Big Daddy, and you see him in the scene Big Daddy
Yeah.
making pizza in the back. You know what I mean? You got to kind of keep it authentic sometimes. You got to make pizza is Italian. I mean, if you have your people making your food, the customers see that.
Right.
I know I do.
I have a lot of respect. Like that guy Luigi, like he's a guy that stayed there making pizza for 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't move from that pizza station. Me personally, is not what I want to do.
Right.
Always be stuck there making pizza. I love making pizza. I miss it.
Yeah.
Because now I'm doing more of this, right? I'm not at the pizzeria.
Yeah.
Like it's, what is it, 2 p.m. It's probably so busy.
Yeah.
But I have a system. I have enough people. I know it's good.
But that's the difference, like we just spoke about, of the old school and the new school.
Exactly.
Like, unfortunately, the old school, right? When that person goes, the business goes with it.
Yes,
The
100%.
new school, it's easy to carry on or to pass on to someone because your system is keeping it going.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like you're commercializing it for yourself.
I am. It's kind of like corporate, right? You layer it
Yeah.
as like an onion. I have 2 different managers now. We're looking for an assistant manager for the new opening we're gonna have, and you gotta operate like that. Otherwise, I can never move. That was me before. I was always behind the counter, always making pizza, always making dough. It's important, but then if you want to scale, if you have big goals, you have to structure it.
Dario's was it going to be Dario's in Massapequa? Where's the location going to be?
It's gonna be Southgate Shopping Center, Massapequa Park, Merrick Road.
You know how many Italians are there, bro? There's
A lot of Italians.
Italians.
You know what's
there.
funny? A big chunk of my customers, they come from Massapequa.
Yeah, there's a lot of Italians there.
A lot of times, I talk to people in the shop. I'm like, "Where are you from?" "Oh, I'm from Massapequa." "Oh, I'm from Massapequa."
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Now you put in one right in their backyard.
Right in their backyard.
I got 2 questions for you. And it's because I come from a family who did pizzerias too.
Oh, really?
And I know once you're in, I call it a system, you're married to it. There's no holidays, right? There's no parties. There's no family almost. What's your feelings and thoughts on that?
It's hard. I was talking with Sal before. I have 2 kids too, just like him. I'm married. And that work-life balance, it's really hard. Even for me to have a system, even when I know that I can leave earlier or whatever, I still choose to stay a little extra, 2 hours, whatever, just to talk to the customer, talk to my team, make sure everybody's good, everybody's taken care of.
Right.
It's hard to detach from it. Like even when I go home on my day off, you can't. I can enjoy my day off.
Right.
I'm thinking what's happening in there.
And unfortunately, one of the biggest things is you can't trust anybody these days.
You can't.
That's always in the back of your mind.
It's always in the back of your mind. Yeah.
My second question is, I know when it gets busy, it gets crazy. How do you maintain the quality when it's that chaotic?
You do your best. You do your best.
Is there a funny story you could share with us that may have happened or experienced for that?
Somebody spazzing out that they had to wait a little longer.
Oh, I mean, yeah, people go crazy sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, quality over quantity. You gotta tell them.
Quality over
You want
quantity, yeah.
something good. You
It's
gotta
harder
wait
to
for
keep
it.
quality.
Yeah, exactly.
There is funny stuff that happens with people. Like this customer, you just made me thought of it. He's Sicilian too, I think.
Yeah.
So when the cheesesteaks started booming and being really popular, And keep in mind, now we're selling between 1,500 to 2,000 cheesesteaks a week.
Wait, say that again. How many?
1,500 to 2,000 cheesesteaks a week.
My God.
My operation now is 24 hours. Like it never stops. There is always people working in there. Meaning, as soon as we close, there is a cleaning crew. They clean the whole store. So whoever worked during the day can just go home. And then there is 2 bread guys that come at night
Making
at
the
11,
fresh bread, yeah.
making fresh bread, making the dough, making the Roman shells, the New York style pizza dough, everything, the focaccia bread, up until 10 a.m. the day after, right before we open.
You're like a bakery and a pizzeria all in one.
Yeah, we got donuts. We do sfogliatelle for the
Well,
weekends.
tell us a story. When did you come to this country?
I came in 2016, which apparently everybody loves 2016. The year. I don't
Really?
know why. Yeah, like on social media, everybody's always reminiscing
2016.
2016
Really?
for whatever reason.
I came 20 years before you. 2016. Wow.
It was July 16, 2016. It's gonna be 10 years this year.
Oh wow.
Time flies. What did
I
you
came
do?
30 years before. I can't do math, bro. 86, 30 years, right?
86. Yeah.
Christ.
What did you do before? Did you have a pizza shop in Italy?
Nah, it's funny because people ask me all the time, and I'm like, I learned to make pizza in Brooklyn.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, on your own, or
Wow.
you worked for somebody?
Nah, I was working for L'Industry, for Massimo, and I was the dough guy there. So I would make dough, make donuts, kind of dough prep guy basically. Then I came back to Long Island. After I left, I worked there almost 2 years, I think, year and a half, something like that. And somehow I met these two people, these 2 cousins that they were my initial investors when I opened Dario's. Thanks to them, I opened Dario's. But then it didn't work out. That's another story. Didn't work out. I
I don't know
left.
if you wanted to talk about that.
I don't want to talk about that.
I don't think so.
Oh, partnership as hard as.
Yeah.
Partnership is hard, but now I have great guys. You guys met them.
Yeah. And I came before that, before this new reopening. I came there
Yeah, you
once.
see the difference of
Oh,
before and
totally
now. It's like night and day.
Totally different. I mean, the pizza was always good. I remember the first time trying the pizza, I'm like, this is different. It almost felt like I could eat it because I can't do well do well with cheese, but there wasn't that much cheese on it. And I'm like,
Yes.
but it tastes so good. I'm like, I never tasted this type of pizza before.
Well, it's funny because he said that he's sensitive to cheese, but we ate the cheesesteak and you were
Yeah, I was
fine.
totally
it didn't
fine,
it didn't
bro.
bother him.
I was completely fine. It's like usually too much. I take lactate pills before I eat cheese. I didn't take anything, and I ate that cheesesteak. I remember we came back. I was hungry. I was like, I gotta eat this. This looks
It's
so
the good quality. It's the good quality.
It's definitely the
makes,
quality.
It makes a difference.
Yeah.
So I want to rewind a little bit because I know I cut you off. I wanted to know what was that crazy story you were about to tell us with the Sicilian.
Oh, the Sicilian dude?
Yeah.
I think his name is Anthony. Anthony, if you're watching, I'm sorry, dude, but you were crazy that day. So this guy orders a cheesesteak. Then he goes out. It's raining too. He waited like 20 minutes. Then he comes back and he's like, "The fuck did you give me?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" So I open. It's a cheesesteak. He's like, "No, that's not a cheesesteak." I'm like, "Dude, I'm selling so fucking many. I'm telling you, that's a cheesesteak." I don't know. My manager's like, "Sir, just keep it. We refined you anyway." He's like, "No, I don't even want it. Just give me the money back."
What do you think it was?
I don't know. I think the guy wasn't happy for whatever reason.
Oh my
I
god.
thought it was too small. He thought it wasn't. I don't know. I don't know what it was.
It's definitely not too small.
And from that day on, I see him walk by the shop. He doesn't even say hello no more. I don't.
Some people.
I never heard this guy before.
It sounds like jealousy to me.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
Right?
some people like it irks other people to be successful. Especially in this whole social media business too. So
Yeah.
What's a
Right.
funny moment you could share with us that's happened because I know customers could be crazy,
Customers,
or even amongst you employees.
employees. I can tell you stories.
Yeah.
Like spilling the oil from the fryer.
oh my god.
Yeah, it took like 3 hours last time. There was these 2 guys. When you empty the fryer, you use a big bowl, like a pot to cook.
Yeah.
You got the oil, and they were like, "All right." One of the 2 was like to the other one, "On my 3, we lift it." At the 1, this other guy lifted. So there is oil everywhere. They
Oh.
just cleaned the kitchen.
Oh my god.
It's nuts.
Tell us about Dennis.
So I got another guy. Hold on, another story. This guy got stuck in the machine the first year I opened.
What?
Shit.
The dough machine. Thank God it wasn't operating. It wasn't moving. He was cleaning it. And somehow I have a spiral mixer. So there is like this hook in the middle. He got stuck with his wrist in it.
Oh, jeez.
You know what's funny? The guy starts yelling. I'm like, "Wait a second. Let me get some tools. We open the machine. We get you out. You're not hurt. Nothing broke. You're fine. Just give me time." He starts yelling. I speak Spanish. He starts yelling in Spanish. He's like, call 911 right now. My hands is looking blue. So I called 911 and it was a Friday. Keep in mind, it's busy. We're starting to get busy. So I'm making pizza. This kid is yelling, call 911, call 911. The cop comes, the EMS comes, the firefighter comes. There were like 4 cop cars, 2
And it was
firefighter
nothing.
trucks. It was like a movie scene. It was a movie scene. They had to cut open the whole machine with a tool to get him out.
How did he get in?
I had no clue, dude.
Because the machine was off.
It was off.
Oh my god!
Right? Is that weird?
The worst part, this guy, they took him, 2 people, they lifted him, they put him on the thing,
The stretcher.
the stretcher, they brought him out, they brought him to the hospital. Then he came back to work the day after because he was fine. Nothing happened to him.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, they gave me this paper. You got to pay $6,000 for the ambulance ride. I was like, I got to pay $6,000?
Oh my gosh.
Oh shit!
So is he still there today?
He's still there.
We
He
need
loves
We
it.
need to talk to him.
Yeah, that's funny.
We definitely need to talk to
How
him.
does it feel like have all these social media people coming to your store every day? Probably because I mean, I think at this point they're just showing up without you even.
They're just
calling
showing
them.
up.
Yeah,
They just keep showing up.
that's awesome.
It becomes overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah,
Keep in mind, I'm busy with other stuff.
Yeah.
I know, and you got this guy all of a sudden out of nowhere. Hi, can I shoot something with you? Sure, follow me. That's what I always tell him. Just follow me. Follow me through the whole jungle in the back.
Exactly,
It's a zoo in
exactly.
there. It's
It really is.
I'll throw a wrench in there. Not to dig on anyone, but do you feel people are doing it to get free food, or are people actually doing it? Because what makes someone a reviewer? What makes someone a legit reviewer?
what they want. Also, is we're starting to have a good following. We're 45,000 followers now. So the little influencers that just started out, they have 2,000 followers, 5,000 followers. You kind of help them more than they help you. But whatever, I don't mind. I never say no to anybody, even if you have 2,000 followers. If you want to do a review,
Right.
sure,
Exactly.
do it. Just get
Yeah,
some
I mean,
slices.
we're not going to charge you $15,000 to be here either.
Yeah, exactly. That's another story.
You know, I had to throw that in there, bro.
You had to, and
You know what I mean?
you got all the rights.
Oh shit.
But that was my point. Like, I feel like, people could speak their mind, and depending on the followings they have, they can either hurt you or they can help you, or vice versa.
Right.
My thing is that there's just everything's saturated, right? Even with what we're doing, even with restaurants.
Everything.
But it's like, what makes someone legit to come in? Because I've known people and they demand. Have you ever gotten someone to demand, this is what I want,
Like money wise.
money wise?
Yeah,
Oh, you're gonna get that. I
you're
mean,
gonna get that.
you're gonna get that.
I've been asked $8,000.
Yeah, you're getting.
I didn't pay. I said no, but
Jesus.
I have a certain budget. I mean, every restaurant should have a budget. Now it's switching.
It's like a new marketing.
It's a new marketing. Back in the days, you would do flyers to the
Newspapers.
houses, newspapers, radio. Who listens to the radio anymore? We tried the flyers when I just opened almost 4 years ago. Didn't bring much in.
Nobody wants to read no more.
Nobody's gonna read no more. Yeah, they're gonna look at the paper and throw it. That's it. They're not gonna
This
care.
might be a crazy question, but
Ask me.
where's the best pizza, here or Italy?
You can't count yourself.
I gotta be honest. I love Roma style pizza. If we're talking squares,
Mhm.
I think it's Italy. It's
Okay.
Roma style pizza by far. If we're talking round pizza, and all the Napolitans are gonna hate me, I think New York style pizza is.
Yeah, I
It
agree.
just got a different feel. I learned to love it. I'm used to it now. Maybe I don't know.
I don't think when I went back to Sicily, I don't think I ever saw a regular slice of pizza. I don't even think they have a regular slice of pizza. Everything
No.
was with like hot dogs on it, prosciutto, with like stuff on it,
French
like
fries.
you know what I mean. There's so
French
much
fries on
stuff
pizza.
on their
That-
pizza.
That's the hypocrisy also behind all this feud from real Italians with the American food. Like we put French fries, on pizza with hot dogs.
Yeah,
So how do you bitch about a barbecue slice? It
I know.
doesn't really make sense.
It's funny because for me, who's used
Or
to
pineapple, big topic. Pineapple. Everybody's.
yeah,
You don't do pineapple pizza.
I don't, but
Yeah,
I'm not against it.
I'm against it.
I don't think.
I hate that.
You know why I'm against? I could be against it only if you just take it from the can and throw it on it.
Right.
If
right.
you elevate it and you actually do something cool with the pineapple, you roast it,
somebody said grilling
it's
it.
That's a good
spicy,
point,
that could work.
Just to get to know you a little better. How was it for you growing up when you were young? What type of family did you have? Did you experience those Sunday dinners? How many siblings do you have?
So I have only one brother that I know of, at least.
Yeah.
My father back in the days was He loves women. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
I grew up with my grandma mostly and my grandfather,
Okay.
my mom's side. So I just grew up literally in the wild. My grandfather used to have, his plants of veggies all over the place in his backyard. He used to have this huge backyard. He had land in Italy, so he would just grow salad and broccoli rabe. He had cherries. He had all of that stuff. So I grew up with that, and I love it. I miss it.
Yeah.
That authenticity.
Exactly.
I can't eat fruit in this country. Fruit and veggies.
There's a big difference,
Oh
right?
my
There's a
God,
big
it's
difference
huge
because I grew up with
difference.
that, so it's hard to appreciate this flavorless.
That's one of the jobs my father had as a kid. Like I came in when I was 5. But one thing that I remember, like as a kid, like 4 years old, he used to work for I Mandarini. He used to work for a
Mandarini, yeah.
Mandarini like farm, and I remember the tangerines there, like insane, like
Sweet.
It's insane.
sweet. Like he's right about the fruit.
You can eat it with the skin, the mandarin
Yeah.
over there, the oranges.
yeah,
You
you
eat it
could
with the
just eat
skin.
it.
They eat it
Yeah,
with the
it's
skin over
insane.
there.
Well, they say the natural grown fruit here, it's all chemically grown.
Oh, absolutely.
as
So
well.
chemical, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to Italy, I grew up in Latina. Before Latina, we were living somewhere else. My parents had this sort of bakery. So I grew up also in the bakery around flour. Like I remember they were always working. And sometimes I would sleep on the flour bags, in
Right.
the back of the bakery because they had to do overnight shifts to just fulfill orders for cookies or events or whatever they had to do.
Yeah.
So I grew up working too.
Is that what you did in Italy? Is bakery? Bread?
Yeah, it was bakery. It was mostly like cookies, artisanal cookies. They would do a little bit of wholesale on the side too, and they had a small retail.
Is that what your mom also used to do? I guess back then.
Yes.
'Cause, oh my God, have you tasted her mother's pastries?
I haven't, no. But I met her.
She
though.
loves making
Back-
pastries.
Oh my God,
she's
the
a great pastry
Bomboloni she
chef.
makes. I can't remember ever having anything like that.
Yeah, she loves that. So I grew up working in the bakery too. I would help around making cookies or taking them out of the oven. It was child labor, really, but
Have you gone back?
it structured me. It made me who I am now. I can work.
Yeah,
I haven't got back in 10 years, almost.
10 years. Okay.
I will be back next year.
All right, that's what I'm looking to go. Next year, I'm looking to go.
Nice, we go together.
It's been a while. I haven't been back since 2013 or 12. And my father lives there. My father retired and went back to Sicily, so he's living like a king over there.
Good for him, he's living like a king.
You know,
No stress, good food,
exactly. His social security and his pension over there. He's like he's
beautiful.
living it up.
Maybe
know?
cut that off.
Exactly.
See, that's one of the things that we do a lot of debating here in America, right? For me, I'm only first generation born, and I was taught from what my parents knew, right? But maybe you could agree with us. A lot of the stuff the Italians came to this country with was in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. So a lot of what they taught us is like preserved traditions,
Yes.
right? And today in Italy, they don't exist many of them because they have evolved in different traditions in different ways.
Yeah.
Like for me, until today on Sundays, we still have dinner at 2:00. For a lot of people, they think that's crazy, but in Italy, specifically in Sicily, that was a thing. Is that something that you guys used to do?
Yeah, I mean, there was always lunch at Nonna's house on Sundays. It was always at 12 because my nonna
Yeah.
would eat at 12.
12.
That's when he wanted a plate of pasta on the table.
Yep.
And that was it. If you made it, you made it. Otherwise, you ate it cold after. It is
When
what
I
it
went
is.
to Italy, it was my grandmother, 12 o'clock on the dot, a big bowl of pasta. And that's all you ate.
Usually it was the heaviest food
Yeah.
for lunch.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
So,
And then dinner is always something more light. Like we do la bruschetta with tomatoes, oregano on top,
yeah.
some watermelon, prosciutto, something like chicken,
Yeah.
veggies from the garden. Now forget about the garden. There's no garden.
I know. So what's the goal though with Get Dario's? I mean, I understand you guys opening up another one in Massapequa. Do you guys want to keep expanding? Like ever go to Queens or the city or more on Long Island?
So personally, I want to keep expanding as much as I can. I'm honest. I'm trying to make as much as I can now that I'm young,
Yeah.
and then eventually just move somewhere cheaper, somewhere
That's,
nicer.
That's the right thing to do. Dario's in Florida would do amazing.
It would do amazing. But that's what I mean. There is so many unsaturated markets where you could go,
Yeah.
make a killing. Because now here, I'm competing with so many places.
Oh my, you're right. You're right.
Even if the
Just-
product is great, it doesn't matter sometimes. Some people don't understand the quality. Some people just look at the price. Some people just look at the convenience, you know.
So what do you think about? See, Dario's is in Long Island. What do you think about the whole water thing? You know, the Brooklyn, the
think it's
city
a
has the
myth.
best water.
I think it's a myth.
You know, but they're not getting that water. They're getting Long Island water. So it's like, look at their, taste their stuff. So don't tell me about the. I do believe the water when it comes to the bagels and like I guess the bread. I mean, New York has the best bagels.
What's said is the five boroughs typically have the best pizza. Would you agree with that?
There's definitely a bigger concentration, I feel like, of best pizza. Meaning Long Island got stuck really in the 70s too.
You think so?
Yeah, because the Long Island slice is a big, heavy slice.
Doughy slice.
Doughy slice. His is different.
The sloppy jalopy slice.
Yes, his is different. It's totally different. So, I mean, what has it been like with your competitors in the neighborhood? How's that relationship been like? Is everything?
I never start problems, but then there is always that envious person that sees that you got line at the door. They're not doing that. They don't have that. So, example, last week, for the past 2 weeks, they called the fire department on us so many times because I'm getting a new hood in the kitchen, which, by the way, thank God it's done. It's gonna be done on Monday. They came. They didn't shut me down because, you know, they're actually customers of mine.
Yeah,
the fire department.
exactly.
So they helped me out.
Yeah.
But you know, fire department, the building department, for some alteration that we did, stuff like that. You know, labor department. Why do you gotta do it? Just focus on your craft and just better yourself, and you'll have lines too.
Exactly.
There's enough for everybody.
I mean, there you go. There is enough for everyone.
That was something I wanted to talk to you about. It's like, I feel like pizzerias, there's one in every corner.
Yeah.
But what makes you stand out is obviously what you're doing with the different styles and the social media. But do you feel like you would agree it's like pizzerias are oversaturated? Like everyone feels like they could be a pizza person these days?
Yeah, everybody wants to be a pizza guy now.
Yeah.
It's nothing bad with it. It's just you gotta be ready to go in it and play by the rules. You know,
Exactly.
do it the right way.
Exactly.
You can't be snitching on people or try to hurt them
that's-
just because
and
they're busy.
That's. I mean, the
That's not me.
right. And the pizzerias that have been around your area, they've been there for a long time. So they've been there for a while. They don't even need to do anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like once you have a customer, you got a customer. Yeah, can they switch to other pizzerias? It'll happen, but for the most part, most people are loyal to their.
We all share customers. Like I know that my customers go to King Umberto, maybe
Yeah.
because they love their bed and bougie slice, it's called, you know, or
Yeah.
maybe because they love the John's Metro Pie.
Yeah.
You know, but then they also come back to me because maybe they love my sandwiches and they love, I don't know, the Roman style slice, the
Right.
vodka slice, whatever. You know, we all share customers. It's the same people at the end of the day. But maybe on Tuesday you come to me and on Wednesday you go to him. Like whatever.
There you go. Yeah, and it's right. I mean, King Umberto has a great grandma slice. They're known for their grandma slice. It's a great grandma slice.
Well, listen, from a person, like, you know, there's so much you're going to want to always have is the same place. So a change up is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But it's like you said earlier, do you get supported from pizzerias around you, or it becomes a challenge? And you said
Right now it looks like it's a challenge. You know, as I say, I don't like to start any problems, but somehow I'm not receiving that much love.
Listen, like I said, I lived there, so I get it. I know it's probably happening, and I mean, but back to your cheesesteak for a second. Who gave you that idea? How did you get the idea to start making a
I
cheesesteak?
couldn't sleep one night.
uh-oh.
And I was thinking, I want to do a special Saturday. What am I doing? Am I doing a veal Milanese? Am I doing a pork chop martini? Because I'm always looking at Rapkis, and they're famous for the pork chop martini. I wanted to do that maybe. Then I'm on YouTube just scrolling, and I see this segment on Angelo's in Philly.
Okay.
It was like a 30-minute segment somebody did. I watched the whole thing, one breath, and I see this guy making all these cheesesteaks. You know, the pizza looked great too, but the cheesesteak is just the start of the show.
Right.
So I told myself, you know what? I have a banging semolina bread. Let me just buy some ribeye and start playing around with it.
It's about the bread.
The first Saturday we did the special, I made enough for 300, I think, and we sold out in like 40 minutes.
You did, because I was supposed to come to that, but I had my kids, I had to work, but I didn't
of
come to
people-
that. But and I saw a post by the afternoon they were sold out. I'm like, holy
Not
shit!
even. We opened at 11 and like 12:40, I think. I went to the stores and I was like, I'm sorry, there's no more cheesesteaks. So many people were upset. They're like, oh my God, I'm traveling. Some people were traveling like an hour to get there. They got there and they couldn't get it.
Yeah, it was insane.
I was blown away when I saw the mountain of cheesesteak.
yeah on the
And he has one guy dedicated just patting the bread up. You know,
Yeah, we have a guy making cheesesteaks all day.
all day.
I have a guy slicing beef all day, and then the bread guys during the night. Right now we're using probably 1,200, 1,300 pounds of ribeye a week.
My God.
That's a lot of beef.
Yeah, my God.
This might be a hard question for you because some people don't want to admit to something.
Tell me.
Besides you, which is the best pizza in Long Island?
Besides me,
That's a good question.
that's a good question. I gotta think about it.
And it's a hard question because you're used to you want to be the best. You don't have to mention names of other areas.
Right.
But if you had to go eat pizza because you're in and around about the area, do you have a different go-to place for yourself?
You know what? There is a friend of mine that he does private events at people's houses with a wood fire oven.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, his name is Girolamo. And I'm honest, he does like a Napoleon style pizza in the wood fire. I love his pizza. So if I would have to tell you where else to go, book Girolamo. It's called the Pizza Peddler. Check him out.
Yeah, I love pizza like that, like the wood fire pizza, the brick oven pizza. I mean, that's always been one of my favorite pizzas. But the way your pizza comes out, it almost feels that way. Like, you know, it's just a perfect. Underneath, it's like a nice crust. You know what I mean? I grew up in Bensonhurst.
Nice and charred. Some people say it's burned.
Right. I grew up in Bensonhurst, and the best pizzeria in Bensonhurst, where I grew up, was always there was two of them. There was Da Vinci's Pizzeria on 18th Avenue, it was always a staple, and Crispy's Pizzeria. And Crispy's Pizzeria reminded me a lot of your pizza because of the crunch that they have. You know what I mean? So those are the two that I remember.
There is something that we were talking about that Dave Portnoy was recently in the area,
Yeah.
and you feel like there was a mistake.
I mean, he gave many great scores. He gave, I think, Mike's Underground A1 and Nico Charpai's A2, which are monster scores. And congratulations to both again. But it's just, I think he forgot that he gave me an A3. And he's saying they're the best pizza in Long Island. I mean, he could say that. He could say whatever he wants. And they got great pizza too.
Yeah, I mean, Dave, you got to keep track. I mean, have
Keep
somebody.
track. But I feel like he does so many reviews.
He
that-
does. I mean, Mike's Underground. He's been here with us. Is the style that the
But you
whole
know what?
get up he's got.
You know
going
what's
on?
funny? Even when he came to me and he gave me the A3, I think it was 2 years ago. Right after he went to some place in, I think it's Farmingdale.
Okay.
And he started yapping about how Long Island pizza sucks so much. It's like, every pizzeria sucks on Long Island. And he had just went to me and gave me a monster score. So I don't know. I feel like he's eating so much pizza that he just
He
forgets.
bashes Long Island pizza on the pizzerias that make.
He
that
loves
big-
Long Island. I feel like
Yeah.
deep down he loves Long
Yeah,
Island. Dave, you love Long Island. You
He's
just
the
don't want to
one that
admit
really,
it.
Like he really did say that Long Island is really they make those big heavy slices. That's what they're known for. And when he said that, I'm like, you know what? It's kind of true because a lot of pizzerias that before you opened when I used to live in Franklin Square, a lot of pizzerias around there, yeah, every pizzeria had the same exact slice. It was that big, heavy, thick, doughy slice. I'm like, he's got a point because they do all make kind of similar pizza.
100%. But he distinguishes that because yours is thin and crusty.
Yes, very thin, paper thin.
And then the big,
Yeah.
this is me. If we order pizza out, because everybody orders pizza and eats home, right?
Right.
The difference in flavor of eating at home or eating it at the place, it's about sogginess and crunchiness.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it's a whole different pizza
I
flavor.
hate when I get that slice of pizza and it's filled with fucking oil. Like I gotta like literally put a napkin and get some of that oil out of there. Like that's
That's the cheese though. That's usually the cheese quality. If you use a cheese from Restaurant Depot from
okay.
Jethro, that's cheap.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, there's so much fat in it that it just
The oil is just
oil is gonna come
all right.
out.
See,
Ooze out.
I just learned something.
What's the best cheese?
So if I know I'm gonna shit my pants if I see
Grande.
fucking oil like that on a pizza. This
You're gonna
cheese is
shit
no
your
good.
pants.
I'm gonna get sick.
even if you're
Don't
not
eat it.
intolerant to lactose, you're still gonna shit your pants.
There you go. Oh shit! I just learned-
Grande cheese is the best
Grande
on the
cheese?
market, like mainstream. For pizzerias that you can really rely on for the volume. Grande is the best. It's made in Wisconsin, and they test their milk. Like they test the milk for cortisol level, which is the stress hormone for the cows, to see if the cow is happy or if it's not a happy cow. It's true. And if it doesn't meet those parameters, they're not gonna use that milk. So
So if it's not happy, what happens?
they don't buy the milk.
Because the milk is different quality?
Yeah, because that stress hormone translate into flavor, right?
Oh,
if the
Jesus
cow, if
Christ.
the animal is stressed, the same for the beef. Like a happy cow is gonna give you better milk and a better steak than a cow that's been, put together with another 100 in a small warehouse or whatever. It's not living.
I would have never
Good
thought
life.
of that.
It has a
I would just said healthy, not healthy. I didn't know stress.
Yeah,
The game.
the stress makes you healthy or unhealthy. So like us, I'm 29. I got some white hair over here on my beard already.
You're 29 years old.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I just feel like it just made me feel old. But 29 and successful like you are right now with this pizzeria. God bless, bro. You did the right thing
Thank you.
by doing this, you know.
Do you fold your pizza when you eat it?
100%. You gotta fold it. I just walk around and eat it. You'll see me at the shop if you pop in, just holding a slice, eating.
What is your
walking
favorite thing to eat in your pizzeria?
around. Regular slice.
Regular slice,
Regular
right?
slice.
Yeah.
I'm a very simple guy.
I remember when I went there, they had
Boring.
that extra
Regular
oven.
slice. That's it.
They warm up this pizza in this extra oven that he had. He had this little oven. And I bought this first time I came here. I'm like, I taste this pizza. I'm like, holy shit. But now I'm still thinking about the whole cheese thing and the oil. Now every time I look at a pizza and if I see that, I'm not eating it.
That's not a happy cow cheese.
You know what I mean?
You gotta tell him you're abusing cows.
I'm never gonna
because-
forget that.
No, because I get pizza for my kids sometimes, and my son's got celiac, so I got to find the right places that has a gluten-free pizza. Like Rustica makes an insane gluten-free Sicilian. They're the only ones that make
Yeah,
it
it's on Nasabula, right?
Yeah. on the corner. They're the only ones that have it. I mean, you look at this thing, it looks like a regular Sicilian, and you know what I mean. But some places that I've gone to in the past, I see they give my son this like, it's gluten-free, but it's filled with oil, and I'm thinking about the cheese.
What plans are you? Like, I know you're opening up other places. Do you ever want to expand to like a restaurant style? Would that be something in plans for you?
Nah,
Why?
stress.
Yeah.
It's more time consuming. There's more prep. What I would do, probably different concepts. Yeah, like the sandwiches, sell so much. And lately, I've been just fantasizing about just a sandwich shop.
Okay.
I would love
Dario
that.
yeah, that's
The Dario sandwich shop. Just I don't know if I would call it that, but
Yeah.
just sandwich. Easy operation. All you gotta do is the bread, and that's it. You gotta cut cold cuts.
Your bread alone, his bread
I
alone.
know a lot of my customers, they beg me to sell it. I just can't make enough
Yeah.
to sell it.
Where would you like to see this going? Like, you're opening up Massapequa.
Yes.
Is there a next? Is there a vision that you like to share with us? Are you coming to Queens anytime soon?
I want to still keep going with Long Island. Like, branch out on Long Island, set the roots,
Yeah.
get settled down, and then hopefully,
I think you need one all the way out east, somewhere out east.
yeah, like Carmack, Babylon.
Yes, absolutely. You got
always
a lot of
looking at-
Italians there.
Uh-huh.
Definitely something out there.
Let's be honest, there is nothing out there. There's
nothing.
That quality, there is nothing out there.
It really isn't. And I can't even think of one, to be honest.
Then I always think of the commute. I
of.
live in Glen Cove.
know.
So Massapequa already is going to be a 40 minutes commute now. So if I go even more far east,
Yeah.
I'm going to be driving an hour and a half.
I
guess
know.
somewhere.
You gotta, I don't know how you're gonna split yourself in so many ways. That's when you have a good, reliable team. That's what you gotta have.
That's when I have
Yeah.
Dennis. You want to talk about
Yeah.
Dennis?
Oh,
He's-
Dennis. So
he's a
tell us
great
about
kid.
Dennis.
And we go back to that, hiring Italians.
Yeah.
There was one of these competitors I have that not too long ago went online and made a videos about Italian immigrants, but he said new generation to get at me, or whatever, saying that they're lazy, they're not good, they don't want to work, they don't got work ethic.
Right.
This kid Dennis is 22.
He's 22 years old.
Yeah,
He seemed like he owned the front.
he,
Like
he
he-
owns the front.
He ran it.
He runs the front, he runs the back, he stays on top of the orderings, he does hiring, firing, scheduling, all of it.
Wow. He's.
And again, my place, we have 7 Italian born and raised, and we do that volume. It's smooth as butter.
Listen, you do not see that in anywhere in New York City or in Long Island. A bunch of Italians working behind the counter in pizzerias in New York. It is so rare. You have no idea. You guys got to go check out Dario's in West Hempstead and Long Island, because it's honestly, I feel like I'm finishing the show. I'm not finishing the show. It's
right?
honestly,
I was
it's
like, we're
honestly
done?
so unique, because it's still mind-boggling how you don't really see that.
Yeah.
It's so rare.
I just love the fact that you're keeping it family.
Yes.
And I can't stop talking about the energy. Like, when you walk in there, it's not a regular pizza shop and this is what I want. You're looking, you're observing, people are happy. You guys behind the counter, it's a constant motion. You don't see that much.
I go back there, I gave his mother a big hug. I'm like, you know, this is just like it's like very comforting to walk in there. So
So how are you gonna split yourself now? Two places, maybe 3 places soon.
I have no idea.
it's something easy, something exciting to figure out. So
It's like I'm getting to a point where it's commit now and figure it out later, and just hoping to find the right people, keep the team growing at the right pace.
and you got some good partners. You got Chris and Lou, right?
Chris, Lou, Drew, Mike,
Yeah, those great
They-
guys,
they-
man.
firsthand when it needs to. When we just opened at the grand opening,
Yeah,
they were behind the counter, cleaning tables. They were doing, talking to customers, picking up calls,
yeah,
doing deliveries,
exactly.
all of it.
What's your feelings on, customers? You can never make a customer happy, right?
No.
As much as like you put all your quality, you're open 24/7, you're putting your pride into your food, and then someone could still, out of spite, give you a bad review.
Oh yeah.
What are your feelings about that?
Like last month, we got 6 1-star reviews in 1 hour. So obviously, it was somebody just doing it, but
Yeah,
sometimes you just can't make them happy, and you gotta live with that. Like I live with that. I learned to live with that. We try to make it better, And I always tell people, when you have a bad experience, just call us, come in and talk to us. Me, Joe, or Dennis, the 2 managers I have. We'll make it better for you. DM us. Don't go on a viral post, and comment like,
Yeah, I
they
can't
burn
stand
my
that.
slice. Fuck this place. I'm going to Oceanside to this other guy. It makes no sense. Just talk to us.
They go on
Oceanside.
they go on the internet and
Opposite
tattletale.
ends.
They go on the internet to tattletale. Like it's like you said, go to the source. They'll fix it for you. You know what I mean? It's
That's the only downside I'll say about social media.
Yes.
You'll just get either punched or loved from every angle on anything. But bad or good publicity is good
Still
publicity.
publicity, yeah.
yeah. I liked all the pizza review people that we have now. As somebody had said, we need to start an Instagram page to start reviewing the reviewer. You know what I mean? So it's like this guy goes here. Let's start reviewing him because it's all good.
That would be funny.
You know what I
actually.
mean? So
That'd
it's
be
just
funny to watch.
like it's like because it's very rare that you see somewhere, and we need a pizza review guy that's actually honest.
You know
And
what?
once in a while gives a bad review.
Sal, I was thinking the other day, actually. Sorry if I interrupt you. I might start doing reviews myself. I'm just gonna
when they
show
come up to you, just
all
take
the
out the
competitors,
microphone.
buy a slice, go outside and be like, tastes like shit.
Your face is everywhere, brother. Every pizzeria will recognize you as soon as you walk
Oh,
in.
man.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not digging on any of the food review people.
Yeah.
It's just that there's just so many of them, and my
they-
taste is different from your taste, and your taste is different from your
so
taste.
now we're going to another topic.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody asked me, Dario, why don't you go to Vegas and compete and be the next world pizza champion? Because number one, there's going to be 7, 8, 10 judges, whatever it is. I don't even know. They're going to have different tastes. Maybe I bring a pizza with anchovies and 5 out of 10 guys don't like anchovies. I already lost.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's subjective. What you like, you don't like. What I like, both of you don't like.
Exactly,
It doesn't make sense to me. It's good for press, if you win or whatever. But
So Dario, I want to ask you a question. If you had to give a personal tip or something inspiring to people who are trying to be a business owner or who are business owners, and what made you today, what would you tell them?
well, first thing, if you're trying to be a business owner, don't be scared. Just do it. I know a lot of guys that make pizza at home and they make actually very good pizza, but they're scared to go brick and mortar or open a shop, even if they have the funds already. Just do it. The other thing is you gotta do it with love, passion. You gotta have a lot of patience, and you gotta always remember that the limits you set it for yourself. There is no limits. The moment you understand that it's all in your head. I used to always, when I wasn't this busy, maybe I'm not cut out for this, or maybe I can actually do this, or maybe I'm not good at managing a place. It's all in your head. Once you actually understand that, that's where everything else just flows.
The sky's the limit.
Yeah,
Sky's the limit.
beautifully said. That's right.
Dario, I can't thank you enough for
Thank
letting
you for
us
having me.
to get to know you, having us come to your establishment. Beautiful family. I can't wait to see more, nothing but success for you.
Go have a cheesesteak at Dario's. Go.
Come get a
Before they sell
cheesesteak.
out at 2 o'clock.
Come get a slice and a bomboloni.
And Bomboloni.
Go see the family.
Is Dario's worth the wait? Yes, it is. Is it pizza or is it cheesesteak? I say it's both. Make sure you go check them out in West Hempstead. Let the people know where they can find you.
You can find us at 239 Nassau Boulevard on West Hempstead, and then in Massapequa Park.
And what's your handle on social media?
It's Dario's Pizza LI.
There you got it, everybody. Thank you so much.
Peace out.
Ciao.
Ciao.